All right, people, welcome back. Welcome back to Just Bet TV, the show where we break down the biggest football moments and give you the insights to help you make the smarter bets. Of course, I'm Jordan Fort, as you know.
And I'm Shav.
And of course, this week we're going to be talking Champions League and we're going to be talking Premier League, which came back and left me crying, Shav,
Let me
last
crying
weekend.
too.
And I hope I won't be crying this weekend. But before we get into all of those chatter about those games, let's take a look back at what happened last week.
Jordan, you know this is my favorite part. I have to talk about all the money that is being paid out to the punters. 58.9 million last week. Right?
Wow.
Champions League alone, over $8 million.
Mhm.
And let me add basketball to that, 39.1 million. So every week it just gets better and better and better. Pocket them fat, bro.
Yeah, and playoffs coming up. The play-in for basketball has started. So, boy, the NBA is about to get a lot hotter. And I'm sure the punters will be happy about that. But Shav, let's jump into the football discussion. And of course, Champions League quarterfinal, second leg action is taking the spotlight
Hot.
to start our discussion. Expected top action across Europe, plenty of talking points. Atletico Madrid beating their Spanish rivals Barcelona. These two teams have faced off so many times throughout the season in Europe and domestically. And I mean, they've shared the spoils, right?
They have.
Barcelona beat them. Atletico have beaten Barcelona. We've seen some big comebacks.
Right.
But trust me, Atletico prevailing. Diego Simeone happy. Of course, they had a 2-0 lead heading into the second leg because they beat Barca at Camp Nou, which I was surprised about.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Very
2-0.
impressive.
And of course, Barca having to come from behind. The wonder kid Lamine Yamal tried his best, got on the score sheet for Barcelona in the match on Tuesday. But Barcelona, despite winning 2-1, still going down on aggregate to Atletico Madrid. That was a 3-2 aggregate win for Atletico.
We witnessed a nasty low block today, Jordan. Like, kudos to Simeone, like, master at it. The only person I think is better is Mourinho. But he is the master at this.
Yeah, I don't know. He's reputed for that.
Right,
Of
right,
course,
right.
Atletico
That's his game.
reputed for their steely defensive unit. But we know that on the counter-attack, they were always going to have the threats. Julian Alvarez and Lookman were the two outlets on counter-attack because you know they were going to sit deep and try to soak up the pressure from Barca. And you knew that Hansi Flick and Barca were going to come and play a high line and really try to push Atletico back. But didn't work. Barca, by the way, actually thought they had the third goal in this game, but it was ruled out for offside, and it was clearly offside.
Yeah, it was. It was a good call.
Yeah, so, boy, Barca has to say bye-bye to the Champions League yet again. Lamine Yamal still searching for the golden moment in Europe. But of course, we know that he's still a very, very young player, even though he's been lighting it up for the last couple of seasons. But he'll have chances to come in the future, of course.
Right.
And then, we're talking about Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool.
Right.
Because PSG, boy, I tell you, watching that first leg against Liverpool, and I was like, wow, it feels like I'm watching two different levels of football. It was
boy against men.
PSG was just at another level, and Liverpool could not match them. I think we spoke about PSG and the quality that they possess in midfield.
Firepower
last week. I mean, Vitinha just seems to be everywhere. He just pops up everywhere. And in the first leg, I mean, Dembele didn't even start in the first leg.
Oh, no, he didn't.
But if you look at the second leg, Dembele getting a double. I mean, he is, of course, the Ballon d'Or winner. You expect the quality, the high quality from Ousmane Dembele, but PSG with just quality all over the pitch. I mean, the fans at Anfield left scratching their head. Arne Slot scratching his head. Liverpool wondering where to go from here. Liverpool fans shouting out, Slot out, even though he won the Premier League title last season. But they're fighting for their European spot, of course, in England, because they really need it, especially after going out of the Champions League the way they did.
Yes, and as the champions, I mean, they're displaying that in the competition, Jordan. I think that a lot of people are forgetting that they are the current champions.
Yeah.
So I guess as it goes on now, they're really stamping their class and reminding who forgot that.
Yeah, but I mean, right now, not looking so good for the Liverpool team. They're going in the opposite direction, I think. We talk about PSG reminding people they're champions. Liverpool not reminding people that they're champions of England. Getting knocked out of the FA Cup, of course, and then knocked out of the Champions League. Not a good look for them, of course. They'll have the chance to make amends in the Premier League, and we'll talk about that a little later on, Shav. And of course, if you look at Wednesday's fixtures, my team, Arsenal, will be involved. I don't know, do we? I hope that we don't talk about Arsenal's loss to Bournemouth.
Yeah, we should. It's entertainment.
Listen, Shav, I think last week you said, and I said, that, okay, Arsenal will win this one.
Yeah.
You know, you fully expect them, the quality to come through and everything. But boy, I don't know what it is. I don't know why the Arsenal team seems to be unraveling this late in the season. I know that Arsenal, and I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan, so obviously I'm biased. But still, a lot of injuries to key players. Saka has been out. Odegaard has been struggling for form, you know, in terms of coming back from injury. Eze has been out. And even though Havertz has come back into the fold, Havertz was out for a long period due to injury. Yeah. Timber has been out. So some of Arsenal's best players have really had long spells of injury, and it's really hampered the team, I think. People say I'm making excuses.
Well, I definitely agree with people on that one. But
yeah, I mean, I have to look for some salvation from the facts that are at play from the Arsenal team. But, you know, disappointing loss. But of course, Arsenal back in action on Wednesday in the UEFA Champions League, playing Sporting in the second leg. Arsenal lead 1-0, courtesy of a 90th minute winner from the man I just spoke about, Kai Havertz, who's been enigmatic. But finding the winner for Arsenal. Arsenal has been good in Europe, though, Shav.
Very good. Very good. You have to give them that. They have been sturdy.
So as much as they've been spotty, you know, getting knocked out of FA Cup with a big upset loss, getting beaten in the final of the Carabao Cup, and of course, losing to Bournemouth in the Premier League. The European form has been untouchable so far. Drop points, failed to win, I should say, once, but has won everything after that and before that. And I think Arsenal in good stead heading into the second leg.
Do you think Sporting has a chance? Unbiased opinion.
Sporting, of course, Sporting has a chance. It's a 1-0 advantage. And they say, well, they often say 2-0 is the worst league in football. I don't know why they say that, but 1-0 is you know, is nervous. You're nervous if you're Arsenal, even though it will be at the Emirates. But because of the recent matches and the recent choppy form for Arsenal, you know, you will be nervous. And then know, as an Arsenal player and Arsenal coaching staff, you know that you had a chance to win 4 trophies and now you only have a chance to win 2. And if you get knocked out of the Champions League here, now you're just down to the Premier League.
And that's real pressure.
And almost all is riding on that game against City. So I think that Sporting really has a big chance to win. They've had some big results, by the way. Sporting.
Yeah, they have.
Talk about that fairy tale comeback against Bodo Glimt.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some, and I think they beat PSG earlier. They did beat PSG earlier in the group stage of the Champions League.
Yeah, so they do have the potential to come and play some proper football. All right, cool, fair enough. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that one goes.
We will wait and see how that one goes. Over in the English Premier League, the title race, as we said, wide open. At the Emirates, Arsenal suffering that setback, 2-1 at home against Bournemouth. Stunned by goals from Junior Krupe and Alex Scott. And it's the Gunners' 4th league loss of the season and only their 2nd home defeat. Victor Gyökeres had scored from the penalty spot for Arsenal, but of course, not enough. Mikel Arteta called the loss a big punch in the face, and you can see why. Really hard to argue with Arteta's sentiments. The defeat came at the worst possible time, as we said, because Arsenal were looking at that time to go 12 points clear of City. Of course, Arsenal would have played a game more. City played, of course, the following day, battered Chelsea, bruised Chelsea, winning that one.
They are like sharks that smell blood, right?
Yeah,
so they came out hungry.
Yeah, so that 3-0 win over Chelsea, pulling them to within 6 points of Arsenal with that game in hand, with Arsenal still to play. So we know that the game against Arsenal, you can call it a 6-pointer because City win that and win the game in hand. You're looking at both teams can actually finish level on points, and it could come down to goal difference at the end of the season to determine who wins.
That would be so diabolical for you, Jordan. Like, people, is Bellevue still operational?
Absolutely it is.
We might need an extension on the property, you know, because this meltdown might be legendary. Listen to me.
Listen, I don't know how I'm going to manage. I am going to tell Shav from now that if Arsenal lose this weekend, then probably need to look for a co-host because I don't think I'll be able to make it to Just Bet TV to chat about Arsenal losing another game and to listen to the banter from fans, rival fans.
And
are
Shav.
going to
And Shav.
and you, yeah.
Shav will not let you live that down, bro. Trust me.
Listen, I'm going to be deactivating all my social media. I can't deal with it. But guess who can't deal with it right now? Arsenal's rivals. Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham 1-0 defeat away to Sunderland. Pushed them into the relegation zone.
That is so surprising.
West Ham won. They lost. So now Tottenham in relegation trouble. We've been talking about it. And even though they changed their coach, got rid of Igor Tudor, brought in Roberto De Zerbi, would it give them the new coach bounce? I think we thought last week that the new coach bounce would have been there, but no bounce at all. They seem to be bouncing out of the Premier League right now. They're 16th, 14-game winless run, and they're in the relegation zone with just 6 matches remaining. It's not just a bad run; it's a full-blown survival fight.
And I think all confidence are gone. You know?
Yeah,
I think it's bigger than just results and playing style now. I think that the confidence level is down to the ground, and I think that they need some form of motivation. I don't think anything else will help them now.
That's a big point because let me tell you something. Sports, as much as it's X's and O's, and you talk about results and statistics, one thing up here between the ears,
mentality,
the mental side of it, Shav.
Right.
That's a big part. And as you said, when you keep losing, your confidence is going to drop, no matter how good the coach is, strategically, tactically.
Yeah.
Once you lose games, you lose confidence in yourself, and you also lose confidence in the coach. Let's see how Roberto De Zerbi, or if Roberto De Zerbi can turn this one around for Tottenham Hotspur. All right, yeah. So as we continue the Champions League discussion, Shav, of course, the Arsenal game we talked about, Arsenal versus Sporting. I want to give the punters what the odds are. Of course, as we always say, people, odds are subject to change. So remember that when you're watching this. But the odds at the time of this filming is $1.42 for Arsenal win. A draw is $4.50. Sporting win is at $6.33. So the market is very clear. Arsenal, strong favourites to win on the night and to progress on aggregate.
Yeah, you know, from here, that's $6.33 there, Jordan. You know, we get excited.
All right, so of course, we will talk about that in Just Bet Challenge, and we'll have our predictions and so on, and tell the punters a little bit more of what we are thinking. Bayern versus Real Madrid. Of course, that's the big one. Bayern showing Real Madrid what they were made of in that first leg. But you never ever count out Real Madrid out of a Champions League game, can you?
You can.
Yeah,
you
so
can,
the thing about it is that, yes, we know the firepower that Bayern has. We know Luis Diaz, Harry Kane are in sparkling form. And you know, we know there are options all over the pitch for Bayern. But for Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappe, especially in getting that goal in the first leg, you know, keeping their hopes alive. Vinicius Jr., the ever-present threat for Real Madrid, and the quality that they have, you can never ever write them out. The odds at the Allianz Arena, Bayern Munich to win, $1.52, a draw $5, and Real Madrid to win, $4.50. So the market strongly favors Bayern at home. But again, for the punters, they will know that Real Madrid will have something up their sleeves.
And with that $4.50, Jordan, trust me, that's so tempting. I see 2 matches on my ticket with those big odds.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
It is tempting. It is tempting. I am really excited as a neutral watching this game because, I mean, we picked it before, Shav, that this clash was, this could have been a final.
Yes.
Easily. The quality that both teams possess make it so enticing to watch for the neutral. And especially now that Real Madrid will have to be chasing the game away from home, trailing 2-1, going to the Allianz Arena, and now having to try to overturn that deficit. It could be a case where it opens up things for that vicious Bayern attack. And we all know, I mean, a shout out though, I mean, I mentioned Harry Kane and Luis Diaz, but Michael Olise has transformed into one of the best wingers in world football right now, displaying all his skills in Europe. I mean, and the thing about it is that Luis Diaz and Olise is like, you know, perfect yin and yang, because
live wires.
Yeah, Diaz is just the pace and the directness that he provides, and then Olise with the silky smooth skills. I mean, trust me, this Bayern team, and then Kane just tying everything together. You know,
he's the man.
He's a
He's
maestro
the
right now, as much as it pains me to say that.
man.
Former Spurs player and I'm an Arsenal fan, but Harry Kane has been playing excellent. And I really do think that Bayern will not relinquish this advantage. But we'll talk a bit more about that in the Just Bet Challenge when we're giving our predictions. All right, chaps. So Champions League, Premier League, everything heating up, you know. I will talk about the title race. I mean, we touched on it earlier, but we know the importance of this match between Manchester City and Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday. This is what many are calling a title decider. Arsenal arrive in Manchester, still on top of the table, but of course the lead has been cut down to 6 points. City have a game in hand. We talk about Arsenal having lost to Bournemouth 2-1 and City having thrashed Chelsea by 3-0 in their previous matches, which means that of course City will be riding high coming into this game. And of course the fact that City beat Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final.
Right, that's correct.
Many people were talking about that match being a precursor to this match and to the Premier League title and whether or not Arsenal would unravel. Right now, I think that, well, let's give the odds first. Manchester City to win, $1.83, a draw, $3.50, and Arsenal to win, $4. So you see how big a favorite Manchester City is.
Right, and you can't blame them. You can't blame.
They're at home.
Yeah.
As I said, they're high on confidence. Just battered Chelsea, have beaten Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. So the odds makers are obviously taking that into consideration. City have won 29 of their last 32 Premier League matches played in April, a trend that has crushed Arsenal's title hopes in previous seasons, as we've seen, when they've stormed back from behind under the guidance of Pep Guardiola. They've already beaten Arsenal in the EFL Cup final. At the Etihad, City have scored 11 goals and conceded just 3 in their last 4 meetings with Arsenal. It's familiar territory for City, hunting down Arsenal late in the season. A lot of people still expect that they're gonna nip Arsenal on the line. For Arsenal, this is about nerve, of course, holding your nerve, holding your belief, and giving the fans some belief, and showing that, listen, we're not butlers. Arsenal having finished, runners up to this City team, consecutive occasions, 3 straight seasons now that Arsenal finishing in that second place, and will want to really get that monkey off their back. So those are the big talking points heading into this game. It's going to be a fascinating game for the neutral. My heart is going to be in my mouth for 90 plus minutes. And if Arsenal lose, I'm going to clock out, as I said, deactivate all my social media and everything, because I don't know how I am going to manage an Arsenal loss. I may be able to manage a draw, Shav.
Maybe.
But not a loss.
But in terms of a punting aspect, Jordan, you as an Arsenal fan, give us some insight as to what you think that your team will actually do. Do you think that they'll get a lot of corners? Do you think that they'll actually score more than 1 goal?
I don't necessarily think there'll be a lot of corners. If it's gonna be more than 1 goal, I would probably not say so because of the recent history. I hope, as an Arsenal fan, that the team will be, kind of on the front foot and not be afraid to express and play. But recent stats and facts kind of say otherwise, especially against City. The Carabao Cup kind of gave us a glimpse, and people say Pep Guardiola had the blueprint now of how to really stop Arsenal from penetrating. So I wouldn't necessarily say over 1 goal, and I wouldn't say, how many corners are you thinking about? The magic number of 7 again? 9.
No, 9 this time.
Oh, 9 corners this time. I wouldn't go there.
Wouldn't go there?
No.
All right, fair enough. So you got some inside pointers. Now let's turn our attentions to the North London rivals for you. Tottenham, they play Brighton.
Yeah.
That one, what do you think about that one? I'm worried for Tottenham, because you see me so used to them in the Premier League, bro. I don't want them go away. Because, the rivalry between Arsenal and them, we have grown fond of it. So, hoping that they can turn it around. Yeah,
certainly. You don't want to get rid of a North London derby. You don't want to get rid of any of the big derbies out of the Premier League.
Right.
If Tottenham gets relegated, then that's gone. But, I mean, they've been struggling. We mentioned the fact that they just changed their coach and they still lost at the weekend. And now De Zerbi is, he's on a string now. I mean, a tightrope walking, really. And if he doesn't get a win in this game, I mean, you can't find another coach, can
No.
you? You have to stick with it.
Well, with
have
them
to
you
stick with
don't
him.
know.
You have to
You
stick
don't
with him.
know.
But it's not looking good for them because we talked about a 14-game winless run.
14 games.
That's I don't even, just saying that it doesn't even sound right? And Brighton, they're winner of 4 of their last 5.
Right.
So they are heading in opposite directions.
Right.
Spurs going that way, Brighton going that way. Something that we never thought we would be saying in the Premier League. But it's not looking good for Spurs. Do they get the win in this one? We have the Just Bet Challenge coming up later. We'll talk about it. But it's hard to really kind of pick Spurs at this stage, any match.
Yeah, even the current betting odds show a very tight contest because Tottenham is getting $2.62 to win. A draw is at $3.60 and Brighton $2.37. So you see, it's kind of evenly balanced, even though Tottenham is on the descending end.
Yeah, it's not too bad for Spurs if you look at those odds, $2.62. So it's really Brighton slightly favoured.
Right.
But the draw is not a bad shout.
It's not.
Not a bad shout at all. So punters, you can consider the draw as well when you're making your bets. And of course, Roberto De Zerbi, first home league game as Spurs manager, and it's against his former club. He really kind of redefined how Brighton played.
True.
They were expressive. They were on the front foot. They were nice to watch. They were silky smooth. Being a so-called smaller club and playing kind of big club football, he kind of brought that to Brighton. Only 1 league loss in their last 7 matches, back-to-back wins over Liverpool and Burnley. Historically strong against Spurs, having won 3 of their last 4 meetings. So none of that makes good reading for Tottenham Hotspur. But let's head now to Stamford Bridge. One of the Premier League great matches, great rivalries. And I see Shav doing this and I don't know why people.
Yeah.
Because
I might not be in the colours today, Jordan, but it's all Manchester United all the way.
People talking about Manchester United versus Chelsea. And we're talking about 2 teams who are coming off losses in their most recent matches. Chelsea getting hammered by City 3-0.
Right.
But Manchester United, I don't know if you'll call your side unlucky.
Very unlucky.
With that last defeat against Leeds.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a big derby match,
It is.
Leeds hadn't won at Old Trafford for I think 41
years. Big up Carrick.
But I mean, Carrick has been doing a good job since taking over as United manager. I don't know. When United was playing that game, I thought to myself, I don't even know who plays for United anymore. I can't remember the last time they played a game. Almost a full month since United played their previous match. And Leeds really giving them the business, right? So what will happen in this clash between Manchester United and Chelsea now? I mean, Chelsea really looking for a lifeline.
Right.
They've lost 4 of their last 5. They've been knocked out of the Champions League. And the season not heading in the direction they would want. But let's see what the bookmakers are saying. Chelsea, they're saying they're giving them $2.16. They're saying a draw is at $3.33. And Manchester United to win at $3.14. A little bit surprised that the odds are like that.
I thought it would have been more evenly matched, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. That $3.14 looking very, very attractive.
Yeah. The odds tell us this is expected to be a tight match. Still, I thought it would have been closer. But United price, I guess the odds makers are saying, a little inconsistency.
Right.
And especially having come off that loss, a shock loss to Leeds at home, then maybe that's why Chelsea have been better in the league. Though they've lost matches. They've been knocked out of the Champions League, of course. But they've been better in the league and they're trending in the right direction. And so maybe that's why the odds makers make them fairly sizable favorites. But I can see why you'd like those odds.
I really would.
And you'd be tempted to give the punters.
Yeah, and it won't be easy because Chelsea is not easy to beat at home. They do have a good home record there at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, they won the most recent meeting at Stamford Bridge.
Right.
1-0.
Right, that's correct. So I guess the bookmakers really took that into consideration as well.
Yeah. But gonna be a great match to watch for the neutral, for sure. I'll enjoy that match. United, their season, of course, we talk about, the wild swings between impressive wins and some losses that were big talking points. But having been steadied a little bit more under Carrick, defensive inconsistencies, you'd say, continue to haunt United. We talk about red card, kind of needless red cards.
Right.
If you may call it that. And you never know what will happen in this contest.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the predictions when we get to the Just Bet Challenge.
That's right.
So let us now talk about the other big one. Speaking of rivalries, Everton hosting Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. And trust me, there is no love lost between these two teams whenever they play. And no matter what the form book says, you can throw that out the window.
Yeah, man. That doesn't count in this one.
Yeah, a derby is just a derby. And the way these two teams dislike each other, then you never ever know what to expect. You just expect a tough physical. You talk about what the punters should expect. Cards.
A lot of cards.
Yeah, in this one you can expect a lot of cards. I would say expect a lot of cards. But Liverpool, looking to boost the European hopes, of course, and will want to get this win over Everton, their perennial rivals. But Everton, they've been playing well.
Yeah, they have.
They've been playing well. The same can't necessarily be said about Liverpool, especially because, they've won only 2 out of the last 5, Liverpool, in the league, that is.
In the league, okay.
And of course, having got knocked out of the Champions League, you wonder how that will factor in. Outplayed by PSG in both legs. So you wonder how that will factor into their psyche. And plus you talk about the instability, Mohamed Salah leaving at the end of the season. You talk about Arne Slot out is what the fans are saying.
Right.
And Everton finding ways to win matches. And let's see what the odds are saying. Because they have Everton to win at $3.33. The draw at $3.33 as well. And Liverpool to win at $2.08.
Yeah, so Liverpool are slight favourites here, Jordan. With the raw talent that they have, you can see why. I think they have won most of the derby side encounters. Merseyside, sorry. Yeah, so I can give them that. About the $2 though, I thought that it would be something along the lines like $1.80, if I'm being honest.
Or you thought it would have been bigger favourites?
Yeah.
I'm not actually surprised because the way Everton has been playing, and then this is, Liverpool playing away, so you would think that Everton would, the odds makers would say, well, looking at these factors, we might not want to make Liverpool as strong favourites as they probably would have been in the past. And so I understand it, but it will be tempting for the punters again. But again, I'd probably be betting something about cards and things. Liverpool, by the way, they've won 17 of their last 34 meetings, but derbies at Everton are often tight. Recent form has been uneven, heavy defeats away to top sides, contrasting with emphatic home wins. They have injuries, testing the squad depth and so on, and you wonder how they'll be able to talk about that. Everton, they're 8th in the table right now, and they're level on points with several clubs, and they're chasing Europe. So that's a big deal for a team like Everton. David Moyes has really kind of reshaped the team. He's that old-fashioned coach with discipline and strong mentality, and those are the things he preaches, and solid all-round play.
Yeah,
not easy to play against.
No,
and that's what Liverpool will be coming up against in this fixture. So can't wait to talk about the predictions for this one in the Just Bet Challenge.
Can't wait, bro. Can't wait.
All right. We're gonna go to Chris because as we talked about, some of these matches are very enticing.
Very hot.
And what I like to hear about Chav is the bet builder.
Yes.
Because the bet builder gives the punters a chance to combine various aspects of a game. You're not just betting on the winner. You're not just betting on goals.
No.
You're looking at corners. You're looking at fouls. You're looking at cards. You're looking at everything. And you're building bets with different matches and so on. So the bet builder is one of my favorite things. So let's hear what Chris said.
Sure. All right, Chris, welcome back. It's always a joy when you're here. So when we see you, money time, money in a pocket business. Yeah, and this is where we get the fans and a little bit of haters. Because we get it, the prediction right. Everybody love it. Like the Atletico winning 2-0.
And over 2 goals.
And over 2 goals. Yes, man. Crazy payout going for that, right?
So payout,
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about it. 58 million. Half of that money there was paid out on that same prediction that we did. So you see, just bet customer them happy. The last 2 weeks they have been really, really happy.
Yeah.
And guess what? You see your money are raining at just bet. Gold has been raining in Germany. You know what happened? You see Bayern Munich, let me tell you something. That match is going to be a humdinger. Bayern Munich has scored 105 goals so far this season. 105. That's a lot,
A whole heap of goals.
Some like critics scored 105. And Bayern Munich at home, they've scored 3+ goals in them last 5 home games. So you see Real Madrid, them have Kylian Mbappe, them have Vinny, But guess what, boss? It's going to be a goal fest.
It's gonna be a go. All right, Chris. So this is where we help out the punters now, you know. We're gonna focus on the Real Madrid and Bayern Munich match. But what I want you to do different this week, we're just gonna focus on that one, but I want two proper bet builder who can help the punters with.
Alright, so let us start with a simple one.
All right.
Simple,
Mm-hmm.
but good money.
All right.
$7.50.
Mm-hmm. And what like $7.50?
Yeah, man, $7.50. Wait, you know you're so bad, man.
No, Chris, I'm just
Nah, man,
surprised.
you must people that must win.
Yeah, you know what?
Alright.
Walk us through it.
Alright, listen. So Bayern, Real Madrid, corners. You don't have to bet on people on corners. I am seeing under 7 corners.
Under 7 corners.
Under 7
That's the
corners.
first option.
Yeah. However, at home, Bayern is deadly, so I see them winning the game. And because they make a goal machine, scoring goals,
Yeah.
I see over 3.5 goals.
Okay.
Over 3 goals.
Over 3
Three
goals.
options.
Right.
That's $7.50.
$7.50 for them 3 options there.
$5,000. $5,000, you don't work money on it, boss.
How much money?
37,500, man.
You know one?
No, 94 minutes. Or 95. Oh, not call it 95.
Chris, as what you always say, no bank not give that, you know?
I tell you that all the while. As a matter of fact, my brethren from the bank called me and said, yo, why you have to say that? But I true still in Chris. He said, where is this one? You know my work I do still. So,
Yeah,
say
Chris,
go,
Chris, I love that. Punters, take note of that one. $7.50 odds, you can't go wrong with that. Chris, are the man with that. But Chris, for the people who are less risky, give me something else, man.
Oh, you want a nice,
Yeah,
safe.
a
By the
safe
way,
one.
Can I say 450?
Interesting.
All right, we have a $4.50 odds. So, the $4.50 odds, I still have the home team, Bayern at home, they're going to win that game.
Okay, so you have Bayern to win.
Win, yeah, man. And I say over 3 goals.
Over 3 goals.
But with Kylian Mbappe and Vinny, I think they'll score. So I say Real Madrid, they're waiting, scoring 2 goals.
Scoring 2 goals.
Yeah, man.
So that's a very, very key element to this one.
Yeah, and
Real
then they say
Madrid.
the mere fact that Bayern will win, Real will score. We'll have both teams to score, which is GG, people. And that is just $4.50. No, I'm not going to say $4.50. $4.50. So your $5,000, you get $22,500.
22 grand.
$22,500.
Oh gosh, Chris, that's still good money.
What you say? I know you don't love these ads, you know.
Yeah, you know.
But because some of them love it. You know why? If you pay out over 58 million, you need to listen to us.
That's true.
So you need to start listening to we. I put your money sometime, you don't forget the $17 ads, you know, boss.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
the
I
$10,
agree.
take the $4.50.
I agree. But you know, seeing as how I have you here, Chris,
Yeah.
weekend, Manchester City versus Arsenal. I know you must have something in your locker.
You see, that is a game. It's like, this is what it comes down. The Premier League title comes down to Sunday at the Etihad.
Yeah,
Arsenal, still the favourite, but if they lose, that's it.
that's it.
City, red hot, even though I'm in a blue, but I still think they'll win.
Yeah,
So, my thing is though, I know a lot of persons, they don't agree, but I think none of the teams they want to do. So the first half, I think, will be a cagey first half. Arteta will be Arteta. When
right,
he play big side, he always tend to defend. So I
right.
see the first half being a draw.
Okay, so that's the first pick on the bet builder. First half being a draw.
And then the second half will explode into life. Whoever make the first mistake, the person who don't score, they're going to try to score. So both teams now going to start fight.
Right.
So I see over 2 goals.
In the second half.
Yeah, man. And then for me, City being at home will win one of the half, either half.
Either half.
So that's literally 3 options.
Right.
And that's $8. 40,000 again. If it's 25,000.
Hold on, Chris. Can you tell me, say, you must bet safe and then you go tell me about that $8 odds?
Yeah, and it's safe. Shava, think about it. City at home, red hot. Arsenal nervous. Because they must say, boy, imagine how close I would nearly beat it. So guess what? We can see how long we can hold it. And then we just nick one on the break. So guess what? That is why I'm saying the first half, we take the first half out there.
Right.
But the second half I got exploded into life. Arteta no want to lose, Pep no want to lose. So guess what? Goal out score. Somebody are going to make a mistake. And nerves, you know. Nerves, you know.
Why, Chris? I don't know. Everything before just gone blank. Cause that $8 odds there get me excited. And I know the punters them a follow me with that one. So punters, take note of that bet builder. We're gonna make some money. Trust me. And as I say with Chris, it's always just bet and
win, punters.
That is it. So Chris, respect again.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna celebrate next week.
Next week again.
All right.
Cool.
All right. So of course, always good to hear from Chris. Always intriguing to listen to him and how him build the best. Yeah, him know him thing, man. Him know him thing. Chris, I give you a boss. Yeah, they can come back next week.
A good youth.
All right, of course, people. You know we have to keep reminding you about the goal rush, and I mean, the people them know by now in a shop, but I can remind them again, right? All you have to do is bet $2,500 or more on any ticket, and then what do you do after that? You go to goalrush.justbetja.com, you fill out the entry form for a chance to win. What will you win? The ultimate football experience. An all expense paid VIP trip to watch the greatest show on earth in New York. I'm so excited. What can be better than that? I don't know why you're excited enough, because remember last week we said we need to ask if we can enter.
Oh.
We need to ask if we can enter. More importantly, can we win?
Jordan, and I tell you, if we can't enter, I'm going to be so disappointed. Because I really look forward to the spending money in my pocket.
Spending money, yeah, I look forward to. I'm looking forward to the game, to the ultimate football experience in New York. Of course, as I said, all you have to do is spend $2,500 or more on any ticket and go to goalrush.justbetja.com and enter for a chance to win. VIP experience, people. The experience of a lifetime. You do not want to miss this.
And it's as easy as that.
All right, time now for the Just Bet Challenge. Not my favorite time,
right,
but the time when we're on the hot seat, Shav. We now have to predict
Am I
the
still
big
leading?
matches.
I'm still a lead. Not
You're
sure.
probably not. Are we even keeping score?
I should
I
think
forgot back
so.
through the tape and start keep scoring. But we can start keep scores of this week.
All right, cool.
So
Fair
next
enough.
week, yeah. So we start at 0, and next week we'll know who is leading in the betting challenge, right? So let's start off with Bayern versus Real Madrid. Second leg Champions League action, and Bayern, of course, holding a 2-1 lead over Real Madrid. I'll take this one first. I said that Bayern would beat Madrid over 2 legs, and I still think they'll win on aggregate. This one will be at the Allianz. Real Madrid has to chase the game. Bayern has so much firepower. Bayern will win this one by 3-1.
Very good prediction. I will go and say Bayern will win 2-1. I don't say 4 goals being in the match.
Arsenal versus Sporting. This one is hard for me to bet on, Shav, because it's my team involved. But Arsenal having won away 1-0 against Sporting in the first leg. I'm going to give Arsenal the edge. I'm going to say that Arsenal win this tie and win this second leg by a 1-0.
And on the opposite side, I'm going with Sporting winning 1-0.
I know say that's a bad man side, but yeah, it's a good one for the punters.
Yeah,
man.
it is.
Yeah.
That's $6.33. Yeah, man, that's good.
Yeah, and Arsenal also have the small matter of playing against Manchester City in the Premier League on Sunday. City being the home team, of course, at the Etihad. So, you want to take this one first?
Yeah. I'm going with City winning 3-1.
Wow. The man have Arsenal getting crushed by 3-1. I am going to go with my heart and pick Arsenal winning by 2-1.
As an Arsenal man, I expected that.
Yeah. Tottenham versus Brighton. Tottenham trying to stave off relegation. Brighton looking to make a further push and cement their place in terms of how they've been playing in the Premier League. I'm gonna go with Tottenham to finally get a win. I'm gonna say Tottenham wins this one by 3-2.
I think this one's gonna be a draw, Jordan. I think it's gonna be a 2-2 draw. Yeah, I'm going with a draw on this one.
All right, well, let's hear how you call this one. Chelsea versus Manchester United.
And this is where, I hate myself because I'm so biased. Because as a punter, I know that this is a very risky one, but I'm going to say Manchester United winning 1-0.
Yeah, I'm going to say Manchester United win this game by 2-0.
I like that prediction.
And Everton versus Liverpool. I think one of the toughest ones to call because this is just a derby match. And whenever it's a derby match, as we say, form goes out the window. It's kind of hard to analyze. But I'm going to say Liverpool take this one over Everton. And even Liverpool to win by 2-1.
I'm going to call another draw here, Jordan. But this one, I'm going to say 3-3. Yeah, I see a lot of goals in this one.
All right, well, let's see, punters. There you have it. Those are our predictions. And we're going to start keeping score. So as of next week, we will see who is in the lead. Shav say my lead. We're not sure about that yet. The receipts are there. You can go back and watch the episodes and find out who's leading. But that's going to bring an end to another episode of Just Bet TV, the show where we give you all the insights, all the tips, and all the tricks that you need on how you can maximize your winnings with Just Bet. Of course, if you have a hot take or a pick that you think is kind of special, drop it in the comments and you might be featured on our show in the coming weeks. So that's going to do it for this week, Shav. Another episode. Next week, we're back at it.
That's it.
Have some European football to talk, and we'll have some Premier League football to talk. Hopefully, I will not be crying real tears. And who knows, maybe some NBA, because it will be the playoffs. So see you next week.